we need to acknowledge the severity of the risks that that people are facing. But I think it's really important to emphasise that as a human race, we have agency. There are things that we can do about it to fix this problem, and I think the message would be to be involved and do the things that you can to help human beings adapt to climate change and to mitigate, reduce their emissions. But just to say, I mean, this isn't just a case of individual action and turning the thermostat down, putting turning off the switch and the light. It's also questions about participation in political activities, quite frankly, community activities. And there are big messages for institutions, for professional bodies like architects. All of these people need to take action that will move us in the right direction.
Is this the sort of stuff you're doing in your daily life as well? Your personal life beyond the IPCC?
Well, you can see the folding bike right beside you in the studio at the moment. I did cycle across London to get here. But, I mean, just to say, if you've been involved with climate change as long as I have, you can't wake up with a state of angst every morning that will paralyse you. I mean, what keeps me awake is more the issues of what I can do next. You worry about the things that you can do that are within your own agency. And there's quite a lot to worry about there as well, I should say.
Did you notice that Jim said fingers crossed there when I asked him about whether governments were going to meet their net zero goals?
Yeah, I did. And I just thought how frustrated Mass Jim and the rest of the IPCC be when they put this information out, but they have no control over whether it's actually implemented or used. And all they can do is hope that people are going to take this gold standard science and actually use it. I mean, that must be really tough.
I was thinking that in the same way that Jim looks at climate change every single day, so do we. We've been working on this programme for years, and sometimes that can be overwhelming. How do you make sure it doesn't affect you personally, like on a mental level? Because you think about levels, you've made programmes about this, like climate anxiety is on the rise, right?
I think just like in what the IPCC does in their giant reports, you have a solution section. And it's like what Jim said about agency. And we do in the programme look at solutions. There are scientists, the top minds in the world working on this. Tens of thousands of them. That's hopeful. And this programme's getting made and we're talking about it. Whereas 10 years ago, it probably wouldn't have.
And I think the other thing that really speaks to me is the fact that a lot of these net zero pledges, where governments are going to rapidly reduce their emissions and offset, a lot of those are ratified. They're set in law and they are accountable to be made to do that. And I think actually you can look at the nitty gritty and get quite bogged down in it. But at the end of the day, a lot of that is already in law already. So I think that's kind of how I keep glass half full.
And a glass half full, if you're looking around you, whether you're seeing more people on bikes or better buses or electric vehicles or solar panels or wind turbines, the world is changing around us everywhere for the better and the worse. So for me, it's about trying to see the better as much as I can.
Yeah, and I guess we're just two people here in a quite dark studio. And I think I really want to know how other people cope with this, right? So if you're listening